going? He's awakened.
Can they see
Yes.
us? Do they see us now?
All right.
Yes, believe so.
Let's check just to make sure.
Got a monitor.
Are we watching? Is this going to be like an Inception thing right now?
I guess
We're
so,
be
yeah.
watching ourselves, and it's like, oh God, not supposed to go into the other timeline. We're going to screw up all of life. Oh Jesus.
Oh, gee.
Reloading.
Come on, baby, I believe in you.
There
Hey, we're
we
going.
go.
Hey! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mob Psycho 100 English dub live stream AMA in stereo.
Turn that down.
Oh my
Shut up, us.
God. Oh God, Niosi's so fucking loud. Anyway, all right. So I'm very happy to say I'm joined by a bunch of these lovely gentlemen and lady with me today. No, the lovely ones couldn't make it tonight. They're all busy working. We've got a bunch of cool stuff to do. But first, introductions. To start with, I'm your host. I'm Chris Niosi. Some of you, if you're already subbed to this channel, probably know me as Kerberfer, mayhaps. I am the English voice of Reigen Arataka, everybody's favorite new star of the paranormal world.
Nice.
And I'm also in the anime world. I'm Dezel in Tales of Asteria the Cross, Gormazabi in Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. I've been in a bunch of Pokemon stuff as well as various characters. And this show is a gift, and I'm so happy. And I want to start with my son over here, please. Tell everybody out there who you are.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kyle McCarley. I'm the voice of Shigeo Mob Kageyama on this show, Mob Psycho 100. You might also know me as Mikazuki August in Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Cyborg 009 in the new Call of Justice series that's on Netflix. Aoba in Durarara X2 and Shinji Mato in Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and
everything ever.
And other things.
Every anime currently running, practically.
I don't know about that. But.
A lot of them. Actually, it's funny because the Cyborg thing just came out. Were you also a bad guy in another Cyborg thing?
Yeah. In the Cyborg 009 versus Devilman crossover.
So you've been Joe and Joe's greatest adversary.
0014.
That's a feat.
Yeah.
I think only Mike Sorich, who also couldn't be here, is the voice of Dimple, but he sends his regard. I think he's the only person who has that. Like, I've been two different cyborgs and different things at this point. Anyway, who are you?
Yes. I'm Erik Kimerer. I do the voice of Teru Hanazawa in Mob Psycho, and other works you may know me in is Biscuit from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans with these gentlemen. I am also in Magi as Alibaba, Excel World as Hadayuki, and Toradora as Ryuji. I've got like a whole list of them. Oh, Gother, Seven Deadly Sins, the 4-episode OVA just came out on Netflix, so check that out. And I am brain farting right now.
Hello, your other one character.
Oh yes, of course.
My God.
The other, how can I forget? I'm representing him all over, and it's like not even sinking in.
What did you say? You're a billboard for one's work in general? Right
Yeah,
now?
pretty much. Yeah. So I also did Speed of Sound Sonic in One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who are you?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Casey Mongillo. I'm nobody special. I'm Sho Suzuki in Mob Psycho 100, which is kind of the only newer thing I'm able to talk about right now, but you may know me as Asura in Star Trek Online, various characters in Neverwinter, and Zatman, Jin Kanzaki as a kid, and Zatman, and everybody who dies left and right in Red Dead Redemption.
And you were
fabulous death screams with me.
Were you in that shitty web series that was it Tomei?
I was in this weird
Tommy.
Tommy.
Something. I saw like an episode.
I think it's pronounced Tomei.
Who cares?
It's an accented D, I
Whatever.
think.
Who cares?
But some little purple floating fart character.
You were the Dimple of the show.
I was the Dimple.
So actually, well, I'm reminded too, not of Dimple, but of other people who couldn't be here. So we invited a bunch of folks here. You might notice, unfortunately, as I advertised, and who couldn't join us today was our wonderful ADR director, Chris Kaysen, and who also voices like 5 different characters in the show. It's kind of scattered throughout. He had a really bad sore throat over the last day, and he did not want to risk getting us sick, which is very kind of him because we need to keep working. So unfortunately, he couldn't make it. But I will say, as kind of a little teaser, I plan on in April for my 2nd annual Anime-April month of doing anime-themed career blogs. I'm going to do a career blog about my experiences on working on the show, and I've actually just decided, since he couldn't make it today, I'm going to actually have him beyond that. So we'll talk about his experiences with directing the show and everything as well. But Anywho, so
Missy Kason.
we've got. I love you, Chris.
The chat is going crazy.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they all like?
It looks like we're on our phones, guys. By the way,
Look at all
we're not
these
being rude.
people.
We're
We're just looking at
what
you.
you were
Yeah.
saying, buddy.
Yeah.
Looking at you, judging us.
All 200.
Curb's
of you.
got the Reddit chat.
Yes, I have collected together roughly 20 questions. We're playing a game of 20 questions, yay. From the lovely folks on the Mob Psycho subreddit. And also shout out to the Discord chat, which we've invaded a couple times to help us out.
That was
I
fun.
need to get on that one.
Yeah, no, they're
Yay.
cool folks in there. So we've got a bunch of questions. I'm gonna go through all these and start off with a pretty basic one. This is from a new friend of mine, Kelly Onolani, who made this adorable little plushy Reigen star.
That's awesome.
Oh, cute. That's cute.
She asked to everyone, what were your audition lines to the roles that eventually got you the part for this dub? So if you guys remember when we first auditioned, I think back in November maybe? What were the scenes that you had to do that got you the characters that they know you for today?
Yeah.
I do remember
That's
for
cute.
oh, he doesn't. You can't hold down a star. He needs to soar.
No!
He's okay. I love you, Reigen.
Bye, Reigen.
What was? Oh, I remember that my scenes. It was two. They usually give us at least two different scenes to kind of get a feel for like what the characters are like. I had the scene where I was giving the massage to the guy that would later go on to be voiced by Kaysen, talking about the evil 18 plus sites that curse your shoulders. And then also the scene where I'm talking to you on the phone about when the telepathy club is trying to get you, and he's like, "No, they just want to keep their room, see it through, mob, like whatever."
Yeah.
It was those two, and I think I even did 2 takes, but they probably weren't super different from each other. One of them might have been a little bit more New York. So, but yeah, I know it's been a while. Do you guys remember? What you were
I
doing?
think for Mob, I read it was I think it was his very first scene when he comes in and kills the evil spirit.
The ceiling crasher
I
guy.
think, I think that's that was one scene, and the other one was talking to Dimple with the fight, like preparing for the fight with Teru.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just pull them up?
Yeah.
I just find them?
I just found my email.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I actually auditioned for 3 characters. It was Shigeo, Ritsu, and Teru. And
Okay.
I did the same scene you did with Shigeo, and then Ritsu. I think he was at this was at a meeting with the student council or something. But for Teru, the one that, the one that got me the role was I think the first appearance of Teru, where he's just standing over these bullies that he just beat up, and I just had to say it had to be done. They had the nerve to stand up to me, just being his arrogant, smug little self.
Yeah.
That's what I love about him.
I know you have a whole story with your audition because yours was a little different, but I actually have a question about that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hold on to because I want to hear like the full story about how you got show.
Can I just tell you right now, it's because I wore this jacket to the audition. That's why.
Well, because also you got to audition in person.
I did.
So, but I have a separate
Sure.
from one for that, so we'll
Okay.
get to that. All in good time. Next one from Athletes. This is a cute one. If you could spend an entire day with the character you voiced, what would you do together? And if you ran into Reigen in real life, would you honestly fall for his scams? Well, first of all, I think for everybody except for me, this is technically. So if you were babysitting your 14-year-old character,
Right, yeah.
how would that go?
I think he would honestly get the upper hand on me, and I would be one of his subordinates by the end of the day.
Yeah, you'd be just like, don't hurt me, please, oh God.
You can go to bed whenever you want.
You stay up and play Xbox until 5 in the morning. I don't care. Don't hurt me, please.
Sure, we can order Pizza Hut at 1 in the morning.
Right.
It's fine. It's fine. Just don't hurt me.
I feel like looking after Mob would be babysitting, because it'd
Yeah.
be making sure that he's not like getting himself into trouble with anybody else
Or anything.
because he's so easily manipulated by everyone.
He's
Yeah.
so pure.
Yeah, he's so
Yeah.
pure and naive. Like, it'd be really easy if it was just the two of us, but if he's spending any time with anybody else that has any sort of nefarious things in mind, I've got my work cut out for me to keep that from happening.
What about? I mean, Show's kind of unpredictable. We don't know much about him
He's
yet.
unpredictable. He's a smartass, but I think we'd find common ground with hamsters.
That's true.
So I'd be playing with hamsters. Me and him would just be playing with hamsters all
Or
night.
just binge some Hamtaro episodes.
That'd
Be happy with that, you know.
Probably something.
There's a
I think
flash
that's
of the
what-
past.
Oh my
We'd probably
God.
talk about fashion, because Letterman jackets are.
That's true.
Yeah.
I really wish.
Hey, nice jacket.
She
Hey,
bought.
nice jacket.
She bought a green jacket for this
I
day,
did.
and
It's over there.
but
It
it
just
was-
came in.
but she
just
said, "It's too big
minutes
for
before
me."
we picked it up, and it's too big.
You're silly.
It's
So I was
like-
joking. Your player 2 show, where like if you were
Right,
selected
right.
player 2 with a video game, you
An
have the right
alternate
outfit.
show,
Yeah,
yes.
totally. Next, oh, actually, sorry. And if I don't think I would ever run into Reigen in real life or fall for his scams, because I think if I would see spirits and such consultation office, I would just be like, scam, done. So that would
Not going in that.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you haven't been curious enough to go into one of the psychic
Never.
shops
I
around
never
here.
have. I think I got one
No.
palm reading when I was like 10, and then I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, whatever you say, lady. Let's see.
Go to sleep, crazy.
Teruki-kun, to everybody, were any of you guys fans of the show before auditioning for it, or did you happen to come across it with no prior knowledge? So did any of you guys see the show before you auditioned?
I didn't know anything about it before the auditions came, but I watched the first episode before I read for any of the characters. 'Cause
Okay.
I wanted to know a little bit.
Get an idea for it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I only heard about it just doing. We were doing the One Punch Man rounds, and at conventions, people were like, "Have you heard of Mob Psycho? It's the other show." Have you? And I was
Yeah,
like, "No." And then suddenly it appears in my email, and I'm just like, "Okay, now
Yeah.
now I really got to watch this." I haven't even gotten through all of it yet. I was waiting until the dubs were finally released.
Oh,
so I
okay.
can
Me too.
watch through it on
Yeah,
Funimation.
yeah.
Funimation Now.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's all available.
Subscribe.
Go to 14-day trials today. We're not sponsored. We just want you
My
to watch
child
it.
is
Yeah.
out,
Just see the show.
and I spent $7, but that's okay. We're gonna binge it after.
Did you watch any of it before you auditioned?
Well, since I came in so late, I just moved to LA a month and a half.
I know I told you about the
So
show.
it's you. I knew
Yeah.
it from you because you're just like, I got this character. I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. So I did see clips, and yeah. So that was all I had seen. It was just like part of an episode, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. He sounds good.
I was.
And that was it. And that was the first thing I did out here.
Yeah.
Was booking show, and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this now. So I
Yeah.
watched like the first couple episodes on Crunchyroll, and the Funimation trial. I'm like, okay, I like this.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So here I am.
I'm weak, and I am too afraid to watch shows in Japanese now that I'm in the business, because I'm too afraid I'm going to get attached. Because I remember I read for everybody on One Punch Man without seeing the show. I knew it was like everybody was making a big deal about it. I was like, it's the second coming of Christ, the anime. And I'm like, so, and I remember even just in the auditions, because Bang Zoom will often send us little clips of the footage of the show to like give us context for everything. And I remember just watching the scene with Moomin Rider, and I was like, shit, I love this character already. Can't get attached, can't do it. So with this show, and I was hearing a lot of really good things about it. Oh, it's from the same creator, but like, it's very different. It's really cool. And I'm like, okay, cool. And some people were even saying like, oh, yeah, I think you might like this show more than One Punch Man, Chris. I'm like, okay. But I hadn't seen it, and then I only knew of Reigen because I was like, oh, he's that guy that looks kind of like Ichigo a little bit, and people draw him a lot on Twitter. I'm like, okay. And then I did it, and then I got it, and then I binged the whole show once I got the part. Like
Yeah.
before we did episode 1, I watched the whole series.
Yeah.
So
I watched the first episode before auditioning, and then once I got the part, I was like, all right, I'm watching this whole thing.
yeah. Context is good, thank God.
It's a
Yeah.
luxury we get nowadays that we didn't have like 10 years ago.
Seriously, or even like more than that,
Like,
honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, how do I get back into? Oh no, this.
Just to let you guys know, we do have some pre-select questions, but we are keeping an eye on the chat, or at least I am. So
Eric is keeping an eye on the chat.
and Casey too.
and-
babysitting you guys.
Yeah.
Now.
No, I will not wear the green jacket. This is way too big for me.
I'm gonna force it on you by the end of it.
I ordered 2 actually. One was cheap on Amazon, which is this one, and then I have one that looks way more like his jacket on H&M. I'm like, that's actually a nice jacket.
didn't
I'm
get
gonna
here
wear
in
that.
time.
And that one, it was like
Life
it was
is
supposed to arrive like yesterday or this morning. I'm like, oh, it's probably tomorrow. Like, that's one day too late.
Great.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Well, life sucks.
Yeah.
First world problem.
Victor E asked to everyone, what did you think of the animation of the show when you first saw it? In tandem, how difficult, if at all, was it to match dialogue with some of the more eccentric, movement-heavy scenes? Especially for you, I imagine.
Oh god.
You had a
one
field day.
one has this propensity to draw those scariest faces, and my characters especially.
Yeah.
For Sonic, he gets that smile, and then
God.
Teru, he gets those close-ups, that like wide-angle shot that is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially Bad Hair Day Teru.
Yeah, they really made a really cute
Miserable.
character look. Fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
what's
Horrifying.
who draws Uzumaki? Because I kind of compare it to that sometimes. The guy who does
crap.
the horror.
I know it.
Yeah,
Chat, help
the chat.
me.
Yeah,
you'll
please.
know. I mean, well, the animation is, absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna go on record. I have had many friends of mine who are massive Yuri on Ice fans that have told me, you guys got cheated out of the best animation award for Crunchyroll. So, I'm just saying, but nonetheless, I'm an animator first and foremost before I'm an actor, and I adore the look of the show and just all the incredible, like, out there movements and the psychedelic kind of shit. Dubbing wise, some of the shots were pretty tricky. Did you find out who the
Junji Ito.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. We did it.
Thank you.
We need to refer to Shape.
Good job, team.
Danny DeVito, Teru.
What did you do to me, Deandra? Mom. I remember the first episode, because, the first episode, I think I spent like 8.5 hours total recording. Not in one day, obviously, but like spread over a week. And it was so much, and there were so many, like moving all over the place, and the mouth is on screen for a second, and we got to match all this, and that was the upside of watching it ahead of time, because I'm like, okay, at least I know what I'm in for.
Yeah.
Because I warned you, I was like, watch the show. You're in for some shit.
I always get the character that, like, the rival to the main character that gets a
Who's
really
insane.
Who's insane and gets a really bad comeuppance. With Sonic, it was, and with Teru, it's so. Yeah,
we had you guys had it like relatively.
Oh, I had it super easy. I had like the dialogue was pretty evenly spread throughout the whole series, and the whole like it's like 99% of the show. It's all right here.
Yeah.
The whole thing is just it's okay. Yes, master. It's just like super easy. Whereas Reigen is screaming like his baseline is just through the roof.
Yeah.
And then Teru's got like a full episode of
just like
nothing
dial
but
up to 12.
Yeah.
Christ.
Like, I think we did some stuff that would rival Dragon Ball Z yells at some point.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, we haven't done it as long, but I'm sure the volume can reach the same.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And you did everything in one session. You got all
I
the
did.
show
I did
done.
3 episodes in just a couple hours.
Yeah.
A few hours. So
It was pretty
10,
like
11, 12. There wasn't a
it was
whole
pretty
lot of
normal.
dialogue.
Yeah.
But it was, from what I saw, because I watched the last few episodes before I went in to record. I'm like, well, I want to get an idea for this character. And he's a badass, and he's kind of mysterious, but he's strong, but he's not like in your face strong, like your character. Like, he's just not like, yelling and screaming.
Well, he might be stronger
he's
than
more
any
just
of
like,
them.
I can flick you, and you're going to be like other side of the planet.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I'm like, okay. So I don't get to do a lot of fun yelling screams, but I did get to kind of.
You got to be cool.
Got to be cool though.
You get to have
Which
that
is-
fun,
Which
cool.
is something I never got to do in school. So that's kind of cool.
Shows you living out your fantasy.
Yes.
Now we got the individual questions. This
Okay.
first one comes from Kirikai Dubs. I know this guy. To Kyle, in terms of Mob, what is the most difficult thing about playing a character who physically can't show emotion because of his powers, much like Saitama and One Punch Man?
I feel like it was tough early in the show finding how much emotion we could safely play. Like Kaysen and I were both kind of feeling our way through in the early episodes. Like, okay, obviously he's suppressing a lot so that he's not going 100%, but we have to show something because otherwise it's just a flat, monotonous, boring thing.
Yeah.
So it was difficult at first finding the balance between suppress the emotion and showcase something to keep the character interesting.
Yeah.
But once we found it, which we found, I think, pretty early in the first session, it was like, okay, now we got this, and we can just cruise. But
it's funny because he mentions the Saitama comparison, which our friend Max Middleman, who's busy working at all hours of every day ever, was the voice of Ritsu, your brother in the show, quite ironically, or maybe coincidentally, who knows. Because I always, when I watched One Punch Man, I was like, this is such a challenging character because it is like, and he has more like funny moments than Mob does in terms of like he gets to be like and shit. But like Mob's like cool moments are the 100% stuff where like you get to be like cool anime like type shit. Which is, those are my favorite Mob moments where he gets to be like full on badass.
Pure Mob.
And he's
I just want to take him to Mob Donald's and and buy him a big mob, and you know what I
Yeah,
mean, and
right.
just just treat him.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the advantage.
You just want to take care of it.
That's the advantage he has over Saitama, is that because he's a kid, he has the like, oh, kind of factor of just like, even if he's just like, it's like, oh, I just want to take care of you, kiddo,
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, for me, Gregster 101, Kerr, what's your favorite Reigen moment? Speaking of you, my favorite Reigen moment actually is in the second to last episode where we have the flashback of where I meet little baby
I would
Mob.
agree. That's my favorite Reigen moment.
Because I feel like especially for Reigen, it encompasses like everything about his character in one scene of like, because Reigen's not a good guy. He's not a good person. He has a lot of massive issues, and he does a lot of not cool stuff to people, but he's not like, what's the word? He's not like irredeemable, and like there are a lot, he's deep in that he is not a good person, and he wants to be, and I think that Mob is like one of the few things that keeps him close to being somewhat of a decent human being.
Right.
Because, and even though he's, manipulating Mob too, but he still genuinely really, really cares about this kid and doesn't want him to go down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like just that flashback scene is just like, this little 2-minute thing right here is like everything about this character all in one package.
Well, from the start, I mean, that's kind of how we see him in the beginning, but I liked in like the very end episodes where he stops Mob from just going, slaps him, snaps him out of it before he goes full.
Yeah.
That just says, I don't know, I just really like the way that was done. It says, that shows that Reigen's not exactly
Yeah.
total
For everybody, the last couple episodes were like, whew, in terms of the emotional shit.
I think that second to last, that flashback episode though is so important in establishing the relationship between Reigen and Mob, because Mob is cleverer than he lets on, and I think he knows that Reigen is taking advantage of him through a lot of the show, but he stays with him anyway, and that flashback.
You think so?
Yeah, and that flashback shows you why.
Yeah.
Because that gives you that Reigen's not such a bad guy after all,
And I think in a way it's like he needs Mob more than Mob needs him, like as like a, because he's like that sort of father figure to him, even though he has an actual dad, of course. But that like a very caretaker, like in that master, of course. I did not think of that first. But in the same way, it's like Mob is very important for Reigen in terms of like, again, keeping him grounded and making sure he doesn't go down a bad path either, even though he's a con artist for a living. Your turn, Erik, from Writer Phantom Hive. I really like your Teru voice a lot. How was it doing the screams?
Well, I'm also going to answer that with a question in here. Somebody asked if I did the all the way through like you did, or no, I could not because of those screams. It was
5 was your that was your big
the big
fight
one,
episode.
yeah.
That must have been spread out over a few days.
I think we did about 2 or 3 days on that one because it was, but we just kept going through. We just had to plow through it because.
Did you skip ahead and come back at all?
Actually, no, because I think it was just pretty much, well, we can try it. Nope, it's all screaming. We just gotta do it.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge, and Kaysen can attest to this because I would always go to the studio just really tired, and I would do like wrestling training during the day and get to the studio in the evening.
Good God.
And I was already a little jazzed up, but by the end of it, I was sweating more than I was in the ring. It was just,
Oh my God.
it was hard.
That is some Dragon Ball Z shit right there.
Yeah, it was pretty, but it was a lot of fun. It was therapy with where I'm being paid for it. So
Yeah. No, it turned out super good too. Episode 5, and also like the big final fight where it's like everybody, like you and Ritsu and me, like all screaming about like, use your powers, no, don't do it,
Yeah.
do it, like.
I think I posted a tweet after, it was either episode 4 or 5. It was like, Erik Kimerer, perfect casting.
Perfect level of
casting.
insanity.
yes,
Perfect.
My God.
But we had to really go through with it really quickly because. Surprise to us, it started airing on Funimation like a month after we started recording.
Yeah, it was, because I'm trying to remember, we started in November.
Yep.
And then
or like late October, early November, or something like that.
Wait, were you guys
No,
you
no.
guys started in November? Like,
No, it was November because I remember when we started, I was in the middle of having like 3 Thanksgivings with all these different people coming in from out of town. I had no second to stop talking. I know, haha, everybody. Chris never talking. Wow, what a concept. But I didn't have any time to like rest my fucking voice. And we had to do all of episode 1 like a week with like 7,000 lines. And I can still hear in the first couple episodes, there's a few of the screamy stuff for me where I'm just like, ah, and I'm like, I couldn't go 100% with it.
Sounds fine.
But we did, because also we can say this, we had batches of 4 episodes at a time. It was almost like volumes or whatever. So we did 4, and then we did 5 through 8, which I think was December. And then we came back, took a break, and then I think in like end of January we did, what would be 9 through 12.
Yeah,
and then
January.
finished it up.
Did we come into early February with it?
Yeah, I think we did, because I remember I did my last episode, I think like second week of February. So it wasn't even that long ago.
No, I remember.
So bizarre.
I remember recording episode 11 like a week or 2 before it aired. Like, just finishing it up there.
Yeah.
Well, no, Ben Diskin, who was one of the Claw members, the pyrotechnic guy who burned himself.
Oh yes,
He literally was like, he recorded Friday and then the episode aired Sunday. Yeah, so broadcast stuff.
I was gonna say like I came in for my first session of 9 through 12, and we knocked out 9 and 10 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then I was back in later the same week for 11 and 12. I was like, episode 9 comes out next week. Are you sure you don't want to work with the rest of the cast? And the reason that I was back in was because the rest of the cast hadn't been decided on yet. Like all those new Claw characters were still not casted.
You know, I wouldn't have been surprised if Mami Okada, who's our casting director at Bang Zoom, I don't know this for a fact, but I would not have been surprised to have been like, he screams a lot. Ben, he's scary. Chris, who's available? Erica, come in. Shit, you know.
Yeah.
So, and they all turned out really well.
Oh yeah, it was
the
great.
Claw guys.
It was a time crunch.
Yeah. But we did it. Thank God.
Yeah.
Kasems. Hi. How was it voicing?
I thought like Kasem.
Yes.
Yeah, I was hearing Kasem.
I'm like, he's not here. You know that, right?
Sorry. I said my nickname for Casey is Kasems, which sounds like Ksen, so that was confusing. I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
This also comes from, I just lost it, writer Phantom Hive. How was it voicing Show? How did you get cast for the role, and what was your experience working with everybody? Your story is quite different from ours, so please.
Well, it was fun. Like I said, I got to be cool, which is something I don't do. And well, the audition was weird because not weird. I guess it was just kind of different from what you guys did because I went into Bang Zoom and it was pretty much, I guess it was like a gauge how I can sound. So my direction for Show was kind of up and down all around, and I'm like, I don't know where they're going with this. But I guess it was just to see what I can do. But at the end of it, they're just like, okay, cool, we want you for Show, and we'll expect an email in like 20 minutes. I'm like, okay.
Right there at the audition, they said you were cast.
Before I even left
That's
the booth,
cool.
they're like, okay, so we're casting you a show.
Let me give you a little more credit. Let me give you a little more credit, by the way. Casey's been here for what, 2 months, maybe?
Month and a half,
yeah.
So that was your first audition at Bang Zoom.
Yeah, and
That's why
literally
you were in there.
she landed, and you got to my house. I emailed Mommy, said my friend just moved here from the East Coast, experienced in VO. You should give her a shot. Started getting auditions. And then I remember, and actually, because I think when she called you in, at first I thought, oh, maybe it'll be like a general audition or something. I wasn't even sure what it was going to be. And actually, I'll even say, when I was marathoning the show in November, and I saw a show, I was like, damn it, if Casey were moving here just a little bit earlier, she'd be so good for this part.
It's the jacket, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I mean, you know. And then lo and behold, and also, you were wearing that jacket.
Yeah, it's
so,
kind of my thing.
You know.
So I'm like, you know my jacket?
Might have helped a little bit.
I didn't know the character wore that. So
Yeah.
I went in and I'm like,
Just a happy
hey,
coincidence.
I didn't say anything. I'm like, we match. This is meant to be.
Yeah. I mean, I think she knew. I think you just opened your mouth and she knew immediately it was
like,
done deal.
Hi, nice to meet you. Okay.
You're cast. You're hired. Done.
Really? Mom
Probably,
face.
probably the lack of time helped. So,
I'm sure that happened.
No, but you rocked it.
But
You
thank
rocked
you.
it super
Yeah.
hard.
A lot of
It
this
was
industry, a
super
lot
fun.
of this business is right place, right time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't typically do anime. Really, I just do games. So this is my first time doing anime in 4 years. I did like just a couple of anime in New York City a few years ago.
What was the last thing you did? Was it?
Time of Eve.
Oh, that's right.
I did. Yeah, Time of Eve was the last.
By the way,
one. It was
please
2013.
watch that. If you guys have never seen Time of Eve, please check that out. It's a beautiful movie. It's got a ton of amazing people in it, not the least of which is this gal over here.
Somebody says you look like you have a Captain N cosplay going.
Oh, because it's red. Captain N, the game master.
There's a reference I never
Gotta
thought
get
I'd
yourself
hear.
a little.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Duck
People
Hunt.
remember Captain N?
Yeah,
I do.
really?
Did you put Captain N in Smash Brothers?
Please.
I'm on board with that.
Andrew, if you ever hear that, I love you. Okay, back to the everybody from Nickelodeon Goth. That's an amazing screen name. How did you guys decide? It's just like it's black instead of orange.
Yeah.
How did you guys decide what voice to do for your characters when you auditioned, and who is your favorite character besides the one that you voiced? Well, for me, I remember when I saw the little taste of Reigen's like kind of movements in the stuff that I saw.
Do that?
Yeah, well, I did it. It didn't make it through, unfortunately. But I remember the first thing I thought of was Jim Carrey, the anime character, because he's so like
He's very
manic
animated.
and like
Yep.
And so I'm just like, okay, so I wasn't like doing a Carrey impression, but like I was definitely channeling a lot of well, of course you don't, you idiot, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, and then I mean, he was a gift because like I used my natural voice, and it was really just a matter of like I could go everywhere with it because he's so rangeful and all over the place. So like you don't get a character like that super often and stuff, especially not in anime. So that was incredible. And as far as other favorite characters go, I would say an underrated one is Tomei. Because she's hysterical, and Jeremy Lee cracks my shit up so hard on her. She's hysterical. So she's got my vote. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Eric.
I don't. There's the bus. Throw him under.
I watched anime.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I guess I just really did pull from my Sonic character because it was the same kind of smarminess. It was
And
just
yet he was
overconfidence.
not voiced by Yuki Kaji in Japanese.
Yeah.
What a concept.
I know, right?
Oh.
But no, it was the same kind of smarmy arrogance that I just kind of pulled, and I don't know. I guess it just kind of it never really think about it. You never really like think about the voice. You just think about the character, and somehow it just kind of comes out that way.
Yeah.
So I guess I just have like that one asshole character in my hip pocket for whenever I get it, and I guess it works well for me. I wonder what that says
like
about me.
if Sonic like actually got to do more than like 2 episodes worth of stuff in One Punch, because I feel like Sonic was just so like I'm marketed as a main character, and I'm like I'm in like 3 episodes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Teru's like, no, I actually matter in this.
Well, it's One Punch Man, just like so fast paced. It's
Yeah.
like it's a parody of everything, and they have to get everything in there. Whereas
Yeah.
we got character development in this, which is
Yeah,
fun.
I won't. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Not to go off on a tangent, but that was one of the things that I found really appealing about this show. And after I watched the whole thing, because I was expecting it to be very similar to One Punch in its whole setup and just be wacky, crazy, a little bit of action thrown in. But there was character development and a storyline that like kind of made you feel for the characters.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I am a piece of shit. I've not seen a lot of Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans, but is
You're
he
in it.
I know.
You
I've
play my
I've
brother.
I've seen my episodes. Well, because you barely spoke in the episodes that I was in, so I didn't see. But Mikazuki, I think, has some similar, because he's also kind of like a little like, hey, kind of.
Oh,
like
there's
personality.
definitely if all you know me for is Gundam and Mob, you might assume that my voice just naturally sounds like that.
I might assume he's a psychopath.
Or something. Yeah. No, because they both have that like emotionless vibe to them, and they're both kind of similar placement in the voice, which was not intentional. It's just like Erik said, you don't think about the voice for the character really. You think about the character, and the voice just kind of fits into that. But they do differ a little bit because Mikazuki has that, like, he's got that cold, battle-hardened warrior.
He's a soldier.
Yeah, that's the reason that he's kind of emotionless, because he's suppressing it because he's got his own issues. But Mob is suppressing his emotions because he's trying to protect everybody.
Yeah.
Because he's genuinely just that kind,
I'm
naive
a walking
little
nuke.
kid. I just don't want to hurt people. You know? So it's just like that so that's
Just
where
want
they
to pat him on the head.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Casey, you got to kind of build the voice when you were in that audition too, because I remember
I wanted to sound like the Japanese because I saw the reference. I'm like, yeah,
'Cause,
that's kind of my voice anyway.
Yeah, he sounds very much like you.
Because the direction was just like, hey, let's see what you can do. So it was just like, I want a lower kind of voice with that.
You were almost doing a Game Craze type thing in one take.
Yeah, in one take it was really deep, and I'm like, you sure?
Yeah.
About that? And then, I was like, let's go higher with it. Okay. So we went higher with it. It's like, I want more gruffness to it. Okay. Just at this point, just like, okay, we're just playing around. This is cool. And then when it came time to record it, it was just like, play back the reference and like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We just kind of played with it. It wasn't just like, I just was like, this is line 1, this is line 2. And it was,
right.
We played with it a bit.
Yeah.
And found kind of what worked, so then we just kind of.
That's one of those things that's nice about in-person auditions.
I prefer them so
we don't do them very often anymore.
Yeah.
You get that feedback right then and there, and you can kind of tweak it
having
right.
some direction with it is always
so
just
nice.
on the fly.
And we will do that on our first session a lot of the time. It's like, let's find the voice now, but the reason that you booked the job is because your audition was the closest thing to what they were after. Yeah. So it's nice to have that opportunity to kind of work with it in the audition.
That was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think I was considered for other roles too. I won't say anything now, but that was a good audition. That was a good first impression, I think. So I'm hoping that
it's funny. I do feel the need. I do feel the need to point out too. I remember when I booked the part, I genuinely thought, I'm not like humble bragging, I thought for a second like, did they run out of people? Because like I usually am not a person Bang Zoom thinks of for like lead characters, and especially not those kind of characters. So when I got, and also because even though Reigen and I are actually pretty close to the same age, I think he's 28 and I'm 28. But I actually thought for a second like, I don't know if I'm like, am I age appropriate sounding? Because like because I sound a little younger than my natural age. But you're older than me, and you're playing 14-year-olds. Yeah. So I'm just like,
it don't
why
matter
am I worrying so much about this? But like the very beginning, I was like, oh, I hope I like fit this at all. I had that concern for a little while.
No, that's the thing. Voice prints are like, they're not necessarily at all indicative of your actual age.
Yeah. That's the beauty of voice acting.
Oh yeah,
you can voice
great.
Young characters, old characters, or monsters.
Yeah.
And it's all good.
Let's see. And also favorite characters other than yours.
Right.
Probably Dimple.
Dimple's a good one.
Dimple's pretty great.
Like I would always have to get Chris Kaysen to mute Dimple sometimes when I was in the studio because I was laughing so hard at the reactions I would have to give.
And Mike Sorich is great. Brilliant. Yeah. I have not had the pleasure of meeting him. I was hoping that we could have gotten him today, but he was also busy.
I met him his session was after mine, and I was staying after and talking to Kaysen for a little bit, and so I spent 5 minutes with the man. Within those 5 minutes, he proceeded to tell me, within those 5 minutes he told me the story, so I'm sure he wouldn't mind me telling it.
Okay.
He told me the story of his glorious farts the last session that he had.
That sounds like him. You don't meet this guy. He's got this energy. He is Dimple.
No, that's what I hear. Yeah. See, okay, I'll admit, I am mildly afraid to meet him because, like, I don't know, he'll probably never see this, but like, I literally grew up with like everything he's ever done. I know him from like the original Cyborg series and like Power Rangers and like all these old school anime shows, and I'm just like, oh man. And he's like, he doesn't generally do conventions. I think if he does, like maybe not very often. So I want to meet him sometime, but there's a part of me that's just like, don't be a goober. Don't be like, Dimple's great.
Dimple's a good one.
I also Ritsu I think is
Ritsu's on my list.
Ritsu made me really happy because like I feel like it's Sasuke from Naruto, but not obnoxious and done well. like the jealous like brother type character, but like but he like has development and like changes.
Yeah,
and,
he's not like listening to Linkin Park in his room.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe he does. But maybe he does, but eventually grows out of it.
Right.
I think
he's still a kid though.
He's got one of the most interesting character arcs in the first season, I think.
Yeah.
So he's one of mine for sure, but it's hard to pick just one.
Oh yeah, no, there's
Reigen's hilarious. Dimple's hilarious. Teru's got a great story arc as well. Sho seems like he's gonna be really cool. We don't know a whole lot about him yet.
Show is like, wait for hopefully season 2 of the character.
Right,
Like,
right, exactly.
You have to wait.
Yeah.
Like he's a tease for bigger and better
Yeah,
things
like
to come.
as I'm watching, I'm like, the end, because we were just watching the last episode. I'm like, you can't end it like
No,
this.
no, there's gotta be
Come
more,
on.
right?
Yeah.
Season 2.
It's like curse of anime. They'll always beef up these like story arcs at the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, One Punch has got a season 2 on the way, so hopefully we will at some point too.
Hopefully.
Let's see. Neo Biohazard asked, "What's been your favorite scene from the show and why?" So I guess other than the flashback.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't even get to answer that. Yeah. So not including our characters. What are your guys' favorite
Oh,
scenes?
can I just real?
What?
I'm gonna answer that question.
Okay. What?
Mike McFarlane go. Yes. Can I just say that I'm
Yes.
gonna have? I had a nightmare about that a couple nights ago.
I mean, it's
The
pretty
night we watched
terrifying.
it,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was in my head as
Yeah.
I was
That's
sleeping. I'm like,
For those of you who have not seen the final episode, and shame on you if you haven't, our amazing ADR scriptwriter and voice of Master Roshi and many characters in DBZ and tons of
That
other stuff
voice was-
was the true identity of the leader of Scar,
That was
Ishiguro,
hilarious.
which was such a great cameo. Because me and Akira Buckland went to go visit Texas a couple weeks ago, and we worked with him for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling him, "Oh, dude, you're doing a great job on Mom." He's like, "Oh, thanks. Yeah, I haven't gone to see it yet, but I hear it's turning out really good. I'm supposed to do a cameo for him." Like, who are you doing? He's like, the guy with the mask. Like when he takes the mask off, it is the old man. I'm like, "Oh, I am so excited for that shit."
Yeah.
Such a beautiful reveal.
was
too.
And it was hilarious because Christina V is Ishiguro with the mask
With the
on.
mask on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, what a weird, like, we're sharing characters. I'm like, yeah, that ever happens in shows.
that was weird.
But what's funny is the voice that he used still made it kind of work because
Yeah.
he was so high pitched that it's still like, okay, I can see that being modulated from the mask to get to Christina
You
V's
can kind of.
voice.
It's such a weird thing, but
Terrifying.
you couldn't be a better voice for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that face.
That
yeah.
it was the terrifying. You felt bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
He did
know.
such a good
No,
job
I don't
to
feel
feel
bad
bad
for
for
him.
him.
He's just such a
But at the same
douchebag.
time, he's punchable, and that's why Show punched him.
You did.
And
Thank you for that.
And literally, we're watching it, and Chris goes, "Thank you." As soon as he punched him,
So
it's like,
good.
"You're welcome."
Yeah.
Everybody
Oh, Lord.
gets one.
Yeah.
What
What about you, Eric?
Oh, yes.
Favorite scenes?
Please.
I think it would just have to be the probably against the pyrotechnic guy.
Oh,
in
that's
the
so
my,
good.
Against
It is-
Ben.
yeah, against
Ben just
Again with this.
lighting on fire, like
Yeah.
20-second long screen. He's
It's
a god
really
among voice actors, that man.
Yeah.
Poor
Uh,
voice.
I also really like one that doesn't involve me. I really like Mob versus I can never remember his name, but the hooded Mohawk guy in the alleyway.
Yeah.
That fight is so fucking raw. That's my favorite fight scene in the whole show, hands down. Even
a
more
good
than
fight.
1000% Reigen, honestly.
That's a good.
Keith Silverstein's character.
Yeah.
I forget what it
He's
is.
great.
You got another one?
Well, it's a little tiny moment, but the one that I will always remember, just because it cracked me up, was I think it's pretty early in the show when Mob is showing off to the Psychics Club his powers for the first time, and he's just levitating that dumbbell in his hand, and he's just kind of going on. I can't remember the line up to that point, but it's like something along the lines of, "Yeah, so these are my powers, and this is what I do. Can we get on with this now?" And then he lets go of the dumbbell with the psychic powers. It falls into his hand, and he's just like, "Whoa, that's heavy!"
Anytime we get away with little, like, that's the best. I love that shit.
I think another one I want to say is when I'm waterboarding the guy. Like
Yeah,
in the-
yeah, that's
what?
a good one too.
Yeah, I'm
Wait.
waterboarding one of the claw members.
When you're watching, yeah, that's right.
And you were like, "Can I get you a drink of water?" And I'm just like, "Do you realize how evil that is?"
because it's
Oh
just
my god.
It's so innocent, but it's...
Actually, quite relevantly, this is good. Green Fluffy Socks asked, who are each of your favorite members of Claw? Of course, we've only seen the Scar portion of Claw, but of those guys. I mean, Ben's pyrotechnic guy
That's
is
mine.
hysterical.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite.
You know what? Actually, I do also. I forget all their names. I feel so bad. But the little girl with like the puppet, like the mannequin.
Yeah.
Mainly because I mean Ryan Bartley's lovely, but Tsubomi's such a like I'm a basic bitch, and I'm like, you stay away from my son. And the fact that she got to be another character was cool. I was like, okay, good. Like, 'cause she's great, and Tsubomi's so like, I'm lame. Like, and then like, oh, this character is cool and has like cool powers and shit. So that was good for her.
That's a pretty cool power.
Yeah.
I also like you only get to see a little bit of her, but Erica Lindbeck's character.
Tsuchiya, I think is her name. I remember her. Yeah.
She's got that moment where like Mob starts breaking down in tears because he doesn't want to hit a girl, and she's like, "That's very sweet of you, but fight me. Come on, let's go." And I thought that was like, oh, cool. So these bad guys aren't like just evil to the core. They've got a sense of pride to them and
Fighter's
kind of
honor.
hope. Like, exactly.
You know, of them actually, I'm not just saying this because we know Erica, but I would love for her to come back because she seemed like not a man-child like well, I mean, because also she's a girl. Right. Unlike the other one, she seemed okay. There's something more to her than the other one.
Because so many of them are so petulant.
Like Chris Trickleferia's like guy, the who like makes it the doubles of himself or whatever. He's just like, I wear shoulder pads because they make me look.
I
cool.
love that
like,
moment.
Yeah. Good for you, kid.
They protect my shoulder.
It's like, good for you. Let's see. This thing is so finicky. There we go. Hikari. Oh, this is lovely. Please share some bloopers you guys have while recording. It'd be great if we could ever actually see those in some special release. I don't know if those will ever see the light of day, because actually Japanese clients can often be a little protective of wanting to have blooper reels, which is understandable.
So.
Yeah.
When you think about how raunchy sometimes.
Especially because we're disgusting in the booth. Let's be honest, all of us.
Oh yeah.
Especially Casey.
As Mob goes,
it's something so sweet about using Mob's innocent little voice to just curse.
Oh god. I'm trying to remember. There were so many. One actually in my very last session. So there's a scene where I'm having a moment with Xander Mogus's character, Sakurai, and it goes to like much like these shows do, where like it switches to like kind of a different style entirely. It's all like, and now it's like an oil painting or whatever for a frame or whatever. Yeah. And so I'm just like, you and I, we're like brothers, and it looks like the Take On Me music video. So Casey was like, can you do another take of that? And I was just like, and I just fit the flaps like da 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 da. So
that's a good one.
That was fun.
I love working with Kaysen because he's just so. I feel like he's so easy to work with. He's always like he just gets it.
Very collaborative.
And, like I always feel like we're on the same wavelength, and he does those moments all the time where he's like, I see this bit and it's gonna make me laugh, and we have a few seconds to spare. Just do this, just to humor me.
Yeah.
So,
I've been working with Kaysen for like 2 years and just straight on.
Yeah.
Like Blooded Orphans, Seven Deadly Sins.
Like every show he's done.
Asterisk War.
And I can't really specifically remember a lot from Mob Psycho because we were just like hammering them out as best as we can. But one thing that Kaysen will always do is he'll always be like, let's put a fart there. Let's just do that. Like just random, like if the character jumps,
especially after reacts.
Yeah. We're juvenile. We're really lowbrow.
For Mob, it was early in like Kaysen had this idea that Mob sounded like an impression of Michael Jackson. So that became a thing.
No,
for,
that's ignorant. That's ignorant.
So that became a thing for like the whole run of the show. So he would throw in a lot of those little ad libs that were talking about bubbles and
No, even to me he would do that. I'm just like, what are you talking about?
What's great is when.
But one of my favorites was like when we were still trying to find how much emotion we could show as Mob, and it was one of those just one mouth flaps, like one open flap reacts that was like what would normally be like a or a huh? Yeah. It came out. So that became a running gag also throughout the whole, like just anytime there was one flap I just and we'd all laugh and then we go, okay, now let's get the real thing.
One thing I have to mention with Kaysen, and like he will always insert those bombs, those voice actor bombs in there. So like we'll be recording and some previous blooper, he'll sneak in and you can't get through it. And one time I think it was during Asterisk War, I was just fucking around or something. Like my character, we were doing bad anime reacts. My character was doing a run thing, so I was like, and just throughout it, he would always put that in as I'm recording. Like he would tell the engineer to sneak that in, and I could not.
Did you have any snuck in there or?
Just nothing great. Just some F words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always in there. Mainly when you blow it.
Yeah.
You know, it's mainly just that. Because I didn't
Yeah.
have enough dialogue to really have a lot of fun bloopers. I think I had a couple of them that were like, all right, but
It's fun when those mess ups actually fit the flaps. You're
Oh,
just
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna, fuck me, that didn't work. And then like somehow it actually worked.
yep.
Actually, something that was a joke with some people when episode 11 came out that it was written as an alt, and I was hoping it was gonna. I just kept thinking like this is gonna be only a blooper. Was the feel free to Google me because I'm like, can we say that? Like, are we allowed to say that? But it made it in.
So
I was like,
I was
yes.
surprised to see it.
So happy.
That's awesome.
This is an interesting one, particularly for you actually. From SHSL reserve student to everyone. Was the reason to outsource the dub to Bang Zoom specifically to get the One Punch Man ADR team back from Mob Psycho 100, or was there another reason? As far as I know, I think that was the reason why Crunchyroll had us do it.
That's what Kaysen seemed to think it was.
Yeah, that's all I heard from them.
Because Kaysen directed One Punch Man, and Mike also wrote One Punch as well. So, and I mean, you know, by no coincidence, it seemed that you and Max got on the show, which I was hoping, if not now, then if we do get a season 2, I hope that Zach and Robbie get some characters somewhere, because that would be nice.
It was weird. I thought like my first show out in LA was a Funimation one. I'm like, huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so weird.
weirdly. But no, it was cool. And actually, what was really nice too, I want to give major credit to the Crunchyroll people, is they really let us just do whatever we wanted. Because oftentimes we'll have Japanese clients with us in the room, and sometimes they might want to give input. But with this show, I forget his name, but the one guy from Crunchyroll who was over on Phone Patch. Yeah, and then Mommy, I think, was there for some of the early sessions, but that was it. They just let us like go have fun.
I think he was on the call for like the first half hour of my first session. He was like, "Sounds good, I gotta go."
Yeah, he was just like, "Have fun. I'm just here to listen."
And,
So it was very freeing, and like we got to play with the script a lot. Like, you know, sometimes you don't always have time. Like if you have to change stuff in the booth, like it has to fit something, sure, but like in terms of like let's play around with the wording of this, or let's like maybe change the intention of this or whatever, and they were cool with it, and it was super freeing. So I'm glad that the Crunchyroll, Bang Zoom, and Funimation were all just like go nuts. So,
Thank you guys.
Super cool. Another one relevant to you actually. Dark and Raul asked, to everyone, presuming you have hopefully watched both, which of the two shows did you like more, One Punch Man or Mob Psycho 100? And specifically to you and I, how does it feel to work on one's other work following One Punch Man? And what were the differences in experience between working on the two?
Well, again, not much difference in character-wise, because again, I play the rival character that gets embarrassed. But it is. I really can't say I like one or the other because it is apples and oranges. One Punch Man is the parody of the amalgamation parody of anime.
and it's
certainly.
so brilliant.
And
in that regard.
And then Mob Psycho is kind of this standard anime. Or not standard, but like it is the storytelling formula that you expect to see in anime, not episodic but serialized. Whereas One Punch Man can be a bit more episodic.
You know what else? I'll say this because I did talk to Kaysen about this too. I mean, I'm going to sound biased no matter what, but I personally like Mob Psycho a little more because One Punch also has brilliant animation and gorgeous fight scenes. Is super funny. I would definitely give One Punch Man, I think, is funnier than Mob in terms of its gags and like its ridiculousness and stuff. But I will admit, and I know I'm going to be stoned for my insolence for this, really the only character in that series that I like cared about was Ryder. Because like Saitama is funny, and Sonic is funny, and like
Ryder had the arc.
Ryder was the one. Oh my god,
the journey.
Oh, I love you, man.
Yeah.
But like, I care about Mob and Teru and Ritsu and even Dimple to some extent, and of course Reigen, like all of them like have something deeper to them. And I feel, and also considering this is the series that he wrote after, and also this one he illustrates entirely himself. Because with One Punch Man, of course, he does the webcomic version, and then Yusuke, what's his last name? Yusuke, the prettier looking
Help us out, YouTube.
artist. Help me, yes. That does like the nicer looking art for the graphic novels. But Mob Psycho, he just illustrates himself, and he did it after One Punch, so it seems like an evolution of, okay, I've gotten to, I've gotten better with writing characters, and it seems like I can put that into this. So they are very different shows.
Yeah.
You're right. It is very apples to oranges, but in terms of what I like, I like Mob a little bit more because of the core characters in particular. But that's what do you feel? You haven't seen much of One Punch to begin with, so
I really have.
you're not allowed to have an opinion.
I can't really have an opinion on it because I'm not as familiar with it as I am Mob Psycho.
What about the differences in I mean, like, obviously characters were different, but you had a lot more to do, I think, in this one.
Definitely got to have a little bit more, like, unlike Sonic, I actually get to step back and I get humbled by my experience with you. Like, I actually get to take the lessons learned and carry it forward with me, and I still get a little bit of that overconfidence type deal when we're storming the castle, essentially. But he gets put in his place, and you get to see that what that does to him, that journey with him. So
you get growth.
Where Sonic, I'm sure, is just always going to be
going
chasing that white whale.
We've got about 5 minutes left, but we only got 3 more questions. So you guys cool? Maybe going a little over 5?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Ready, Freddy? To everyone, if there was one thing you could take from your character, personality-wise, what would it be? And thanks for y'all's hard work. The dub was phenomenal. Thank you. I feel like I'm a little already too much like Reigen that I should be, and I'm like, that's not entirely a good thing. So I feel like I could stand to be a little less like Reigen in my real life. But you know what? Actually, I will say in terms of relating, I'm not nearly at the level of being ready for starting a family or anything. But I would like to be a dad someday, and I certainly do relate to that kind of semi-fatherly quality that he has to Mob, and that he's like the second dad to Mob's already, normal dad that Kyle Airbear plays.
I love that character too, by the way.
Just
Mob's
the
dad is like,
it'll be fine,
he has
honey.
like 4 lines in the whole show, but it's always hilarious to me.
Actually, it's funny because he's also Sho's dad. Who is
brothers.
From what I hear, that's the twist of season 2. But no, it's funny because it seems like he's going to be like I'm going to be the real villain in the next season or whatever. So it's like whoa, but it's jokes are being put around like, oh my God, is Mob's dad also Sho's dad? And he's the big villain. I was like, I don't think that's the case, but nonetheless. I don't know what are there any qualities you'd want to take from your guys' characters?
I'm in the same boat as you.
You guys all have powers.
I'm a smartass as well, so I mean, I'm a bit of a dick, but
Sometimes I can get a little confident with myself, because again, I've been on this like kick with Kaysen and all these anime we've been doing. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest voice actor in the world, and then I have a slow period and I get humbled, and I'm just like,
and then your hair gets shut
then
off.
my hair gets shut off.
You have to dye it a different color, and
then I get punched in the, and then
Oh, somebody asked. I think I missed this. Somebody asked, "What's your favorite haircut of his?"
I think it's the Danny DeVito.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love it.
He goes from Danny DeVito to Marge Simpson to Naruto. It's like a weird.
The Naruto cut is pretty great.
When you get your haircut next, just be like, I'll have a Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Say no.
Jesus. Oh my God.
For Mob, I could probably stand a little more humility, which he definitely has in spades. And also, I just love that Mob sees the good in everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so admirable.
Even villains.
Yeah, like everybody, he's like, you're just a person,
mm-hmm.
you know? Everybody's just a person, and they all deserve to live their life, as long as they're not doing that at the expense of other people's.
Yeah.
Right. I like that about Mob.
He's a good boy.
I see it almost like a Steven Universe type thing. He's a pure character, loving everything,
yeah.
And then we break him.
And you love it. And do it for your entertainment. know you don't have much to work off of, but I mean, that's the love of hamsters. That's you stand to love hamsters even more.
Duh.
Who couldn't?
What the world needs now is hamsters.
Is Hamtaro
hamsters.
is Hamtaro
Yes,
season 5?
hamsters.
Forget no, seriously. Forget Mob Psycho season 2. We just need like Hamtaro season 5. Really fine.
You know what?
Don't worry about it.
Remember
Show
watching
needs a
Tsunami.
cameo.
God dang.
That was on Toonami.
It was. It was one of the most black sheep shows on Tsunami.
You know what would be great to be on Adult Swim / Toonami? Mob Psycho
Mob Psycho 100.
You hear that, Cartoon Network?
Are you listening?
People want it. Just saying.
Write your senators.
Yeah. Oh God.
Or somebody, I don't know.
Street Hamster 5. Yeah, there you go.
Jesus Christ. Second to last question. I really like this one a lot. This comes from Hamtaro. Bada. Well, thank you for joining the Hamtaro AMA live stream.
Right.
I'm Kiara Zani. This is Saffron Henderson.
Little hamsters, big hamsters.
Fancy Fennekin asked to everyone. I love this one. If you could have any kind of psychic power, what would you specialize in? Pyrokinesis, telekinesis, healing, any of that kind of stuff. That is a really cool one. I am always a fan of ice powers in like all like comics and anime and movies and video games or whatever. So I would love to be like a cryokinetic character. Probably wouldn't be super useful in like everyday life, but just to like feel cooler about myself. Cooler. Shut up, Chris.
Usually when I'm asking what kind of powers would you want, I just say psychic powers, but I'd like to break it down into categories.
Because they're all like,
yeah.
There's many kinds of psychic powers in this case. So.
I'd be vocal kinesis. I'd just be able to do anything
Any
ever
voice
with my
ever.
Yes.
Any voice.
I take all your jobs.
That'd be
That's
amazing.
true.
How?
That's a
True.
good
You
one.
would-
I like that answer.
You put us all out of work. It's true.
I honestly though I feel like I'm a waterbender. I'd love hydrokinesis. I'd love to do something like that.
That would be more useful. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
probably. I'm thirsty in the booth. Water.
Come seize from the Pacific
No.
into the booth.
I feel like it's probably the least interesting answer, but it'd be the most versatile and useful power is telekinesis.
Yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
you could do a lot with just being able to move shit around.
It's true.
Like, hey, can you
With a
adjust that
thought.
microphone? I've got it.
Yeah. Right.
Make cleaning your house a lot easier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Teleport. Does anybody have teleportation powers in Mob?
Well, closest thing, I guess, would
Actually,
be...
you phase through walls.
Well, it's more like being invisible.
Oh,
Which
okay.
would be really fun,
Yeah.
for many reasons.
Sneak into locker rooms.
I don't think anybody has teleportation
You sick.
yet.
Yeah, not yet.
That would probably be my go-to because I hate driving in LA.
Yeah, teleportation's nice. Flights.
Well, anything
Well,
to-
telekinesis.
You know what I would like?
I mean, telekinesis
That's
in
the
this
thing.
show.
Levitate
a lot of
yourself.
people fly,
Go to
yeah.
invisible for bypassing the TSA, so I don't have to like wait through lines.
Is that a
and
superpower
get my,
that I
get
can
my
have?
preamp stolen? I'm still waiting for that to be sent back.
My
TSA.
Jesus, man. JesusMan.exe. That's my favorite Mega Man character. Sorry. Well, thank you for joining the Mega Man mainstream. Just every other show. And our last question comes from Starlight Ruby. I know her from Tumblr. Hi guys, just to say you've all done such a wonderful job with the dub. Everyone really has a unique way of bringing these characters to life and just putting their all into it. It really shows. I have two questions. Since none of you guys have seen the manga, what would you want to see if there was a second season? Any characters or you want to see more of, or maybe any fights that'd be cool to see? So we've talked a little bit about this throughout. So we have not seen the manga because it is not legally available in this country. I would love that. Viz or anybody, get on that, please. I want to buy it. What are some predictions or things that you guys would like to see in season 2, if anything? So you're kind of you're obviously gonna come back.
Sure, yeah.
You're kind of helping out the young up and comers in
Yeah.
the little club.
So-
You're probably in for some more shit you got to deal with, sadly.
Oh yeah.
And I don't
He
even.
said that as not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't. I don't even know what's gonna happen with me, to be honest. Like with me, I don't know. I would like to see that one chick come back from Scar because she seemed cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see where the bad guys, what kind of stuff he's going to be doing. I would like to see Mob's relationship with the other kids at school, letting him become more actually social with, like, even if it's just like the telepathy club and like the body improvement club guys and some of them. But I like to see him like get a little bit more like active in the social side of things and try to break his habits a little bit, you know.
You know, I would like to see if I ever did reconcile with a lot of my subordinates that I had from episode 5 that like ran away after I was beaten and shaven, because like we never saw them again, and I would love to see if I, you know, kind of humbled myself before them. It's like, hey, you know, sorry for treating you guys like shit.
Yeah.
And then maybe, I think this is just fantasy booking, fantasy casting, like, or not casting, but fantasy writing. I would love to see a scene where maybe you go into 100% and like all of us are trying to like calm you down or something, like using all our powers.
Everybody
to,
versus
Yeah,
mob.
everybody
versus
against
mob.
mob, trying to
Yeah.
stop him from.
So it's gonna be a different dynamic than our first fight. I would
That'd
love
be
to
great.
see that.
That would be awesome.
You know what? Also, Dimple too. Dimple, I think I feel like over time he's gonna end up becoming like just a flat out good guy, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
Seems like he's kind of on the road of that.
It's
Yeah.
already kind of there.
Yeah, I mean he's in that like Dragon Ball Z mode of like, no, I'm not. I'm still gonna take over the world. Like, yeah, whatever you say, Vegeta or Piccolo or whoever.
No, I just love the image we're frozen on this one.
Oh, it's like very pensive.
I'm like,
Yeah.
wait.
Let's
Oh,
see if
that
I
was a
can show
while
you
ago.
guys. Yeah, it was like really early.
We're still pausing.
I still have Red Jacket.
You're
on.
time traveling right now into the
Yeah.
past.
It's
While
just
seeing a reflection of yourselves
Yeah.
live.
Everyone just saw your notifications.
Whoops. Yeah, I will reiterate. I said this in the excuse me, Morty. I saw this. I said this in the. Okay. I'm sorry. I remembered.
Oh,
Somebody asked you and I to do
That's
Reigen Mobby. So
Yeah.
Mob, you gotta shove those seeds way up your butt as far as you can.
Do I have to? Do I really have to do that? I don't.
Way up inside as hard as far as you can.
I don't. Why don't you do it?
I'm Mr. Teru. Look at me.
Oh my god. Oh, they can hear us now. They're echoing through time and space. Oh,
7.1 surround sound.
somebody please animate that.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Don't.
No, don't. We want a season 2. We
Yeah.
want to keep our jobs.
Yeah, and speaking of what I was gonna say, yeah, we don't know if we're getting a season 2.
Can't believe you just did.
Yeah, well, we did, so it's there forever. I really hope that we do. I think it feels pretty likely. You know, I mean, the fact that a lot of it, I gotta say too, the fact that anime in general is in this kind of renaissance period of like, they seem to be doing these like by the season orders now instead of just like you start and then you also get like episodes and episodes of filler in between everything. It's like, no, let's do this. Let's pace these out like in a way that's like, here's 13 episodes or 26 episodes and like space everything out properly. And then if we take a break to let the manga catch up or come up with new material or whatever, we can do it that way.
Have a movie, like a 4-episode OVA.
Yeah.
Or something, kind of give them.
So, actually, I did hear, thanks to you, that apparently on I think in the Japanese Blu-rays, there are some little like mini, like sprite animations.
Those are fun.
That happen in between episodes. So I know that often for when, I mean, because I'm sure we're probably going to get like a DVD release or Blu-ray or something at some point. Yeah,
We're,
here's
as
hoping.
actors, we're the last to know any of this business crap. So.
But if they do, I mean, often if there is like material like that, we usually do get to do it. So you know, fingers crossed. I guess that's it. So that's all the questions that we got.
Thank you all in the chat. I'm just doing a quick scan.
A little over 200 people watching it.
Wow.
Any last words?
Yeah.
Last minute questions. Did we miss any of your questions?
Yeah.
YouTube chat.
Anything?
I think it's a
fun?
delay, so we gotta
we
wait
probably
for it.
We've got time a couple minutes.
Now we wait a minute.
I will say actually, while in the meantime, just please continue to support the show. If you've not gotten a chance to see much of the show already in the English dub, again, you can get a 14-day trial from the Funimation app, like free. The first 2 episodes, I think, are already free for anybody to watch.
Yes.
But you can check out the whole show, and there's also like tons and tons of other like really good shows on there as well that a bunch of our friends down in Texas work on. Some other stuff that some of us are on as well. And yeah, just support the show like legally as much as possible. You can also still watch it for free on Crunchyroll with ads in Japanese if you want to keep watching it. And you know, just that's the best way to let Japan know, like, hey, we want this, give us more of this, is to keep supporting
watch it
so.
and watch it legally.
Please.
There is a request, by the way.
Sakes, watch it.
A lot of people are requesting this. Let Mob say fuck.
Do you want to break that purity or no? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I don't know if I'll go that far, but I will do another blooper. I think it was in the fight with Teru. The first when Teru's kind of being an asshole. I can't remember what the line was, but it was like Mob is trying to talk him down by saying, like, you're not supposed to use psychic powers against other people. And then as soon as we stopped rolling, I went, you big bag of dicks.
I'll accept that. That's better than
I'll give you that one.
And I did have an alt of because Keith's character said dipshit. So because it was an internal monologue, there was a part where it's like, shit, I'm all out of gas. But I think they went with crap instead because they were like, Reigen's not that foul-mouthed, but maybe someday. Maybe when something even worse than being sucked into a black hole happens.
Says holy crap like every episode.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
We got anything
There's
else?
like a Peter
going down there.
I'm just
No,
waiting
I
for
think
the-
they were
chat is
hashtagging.
just reacting now.
Yeah.
Yeet.
Yes,
You
animate
ain't-
that.
You ain't done yet.
Okay.
If you have any last questions, get them in because we're just
we're,
about done.
yeah.
And
So
then I gotta eat something because I'm dying.
yeah, we're gonna go do the food thing.
I have a request of all of you, like we were saying, support the show legally, but also, if you like the show and you want to see more of it, and you want to see it dubbed, and you want to see it on Toonami,
Contact your senator.
get in touch with Crunchyroll and Funimation and Adult Swim, because they're the people
I guess
who make
maybe
that decision.
tweet them?
Yeah, tweet them.
Tweet Adult Swim, tweet
Facebook
Toonami.
them, find an email address and send an email, whatever it takes. Just get in touch with them, because if they hear from the fans, enough of you, they'll listen.
It's not up to
Yeah.
us. I know a lot of you guys
Yeah.
do think, I gotta say this a lot, I've gotten a lot of messages saying like, can't you just put it on TV? It's your job.
Yeah,
You're the
can't
fans.
You do it.
You guys are the fans.
But no, and actually, kind of in tandem with that, I know that last year, I think like towards the end of last year, Jason DeMarco, I think his name is, the guy that like runs Toonami on Adult Swim, put out a poll of like, hey, what anime would you guys like to see on Toonami at some point? And if I'm remembering right, I think that Mob Psycho was the one that got the most
by
amount
like
of votes.
thousands,
right.
So,
7,000 votes.
so
I
keep,
did see that.
yeah, keep the interest out there. Let them know, and we'd
Let
be
them know
happy.
you still want it on.
You
Yeah,
still want
yeah,
because
yeah,
that was 3 months ago, 4 months
And
ago. Or something.
and also like if you have like friends that maybe haven't seen the show yet or otherwise, that's another good excuse to be like, try the Funimation streaming service.
Yep.
Yes.
And you can binge the whole show right now. All 12 episodes
That's
are up,
right.
and
they can get a taste. They can watch the first 2 for free without
even
signing up.
That's
without
right,
even
right.
registering. So.
Coaches.
Do it.
I guess that's gonna wrap us up. So hey, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
guys.
And thank all of you guys for tuning in as well.
Yeah.
So this will be archived on my YouTube channel, which is in case you came here from like Reddit or some other place. But this is my YouTube channel. I'm Kerber for 15 on here, and I do vlogs and animations and other such things. I'm definitely going to do a Mob Psycho 100 Kerb blog down the line with our director Chris Kaysen, who again, major shout out to him. Also, shout out to our incredible engineer June,
Yes.
who
Yes.
Oh my God.
a badass.
You gotta see him work.
We
Yeah.
are
He's
not
like a
worthy.
magician.
He's the best.
He's just like, let me just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
How do you do that?
of course, Mommy, our casting director at
Yeah.
DZ, all the people at Bang Zoom.
Bang Zoom, Funimation. This was a lot of our first Funimation
Yeah,
projects. so
yeah.
Yep.
Thank you guys for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, and
It
of
was
course,
so much fun.
Crunchyroll for getting the show and making this all happen. And
Yeah. Hey, it's the end of the stream.
you showed up.
I'm disappointed
Yes,
in you, Ma.
I know. You coward.
Coward.
So yeah, I guess hopefully we'll see you on the DVD, or we'll see you in season 2, mayhaps.
Yeah, if you guys buy the Blu-ray, we'll see you on the little spinning disc.
All right.
We'll be on the
Well,
disc, and we will see you then.
Yeah.
As us.
Thank you all again
characters.
so much. You're all fantastic.
You're wonderful.
And remember,
Keep doing what you're doing.
and remember, supporting the official release, that's an excellent decision. Yeah! Hit the stop button.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Somebody's got to tell them to stop.
Yeah.
Gotta press
Just
buttons.
staying here.
We're just gonna freeze frame.
Have this awkward 5-second afterward. Chris went off
Hold
to marry
it.
his high school sweetheart.
Hold it. Oh God, I'm gonna cramp.